much at all, other than just like maybe bringing in some real life examples that they might resonate with, as far as like, being on teams or being, you know, etc. Like, because they're not at work and they're not in careers, etc. That was really, really cool to be able to do that. They were taking notes, they were engaging, they all opened up. Like, it took them a second to warm up and raise hands, but then everybody was participating at a high level, and it was really cool to see. And and then just from that, I've already had two other schools reach out and talk about what it would look like to continue to have these types of conversations going. So I'm really excited to be a part of their story early on like that. So super grateful for that. All right, it's Freestyle Friday, and I want to get to your needs, concerns, wants, etc. And yet I wanted to go ahead and let's talk about the big. I don't know if you saw it yesterday, the big announcement, the big update from Zillow on private exclusives and what that looks like on the Zillow site. Are you guys familiar with what was announced, what happened, what came out? Basically, Zillow is saying if your company is doing private off-market exclusives and not allowing transparency and clear cooperation, that property is no longer ever allowed back on Zillow, even if a month later, 2 weeks later, 3 months later, that agent decides to list it on the MLS. So Zillow's taking a stand for the consumer and basically saying clear cooperation is actually a fiduciary. It helps sellers actually make more money. And there are companies that are using it as an opportunity to double end deals or keep things in-house, et cetera. And it's costing the average consumer anywhere from 11 to 17% of market value. Now, Leo Pareja, our CEO, met with Zillow, and we were one of the first companies to sign a specific agreement with Zillow that we're going to be sending our data directly to Zillow. We do have ZenList, which has EXP exclusives, and Zillow said, you guys are doing it correctly. There's transparency. Your ZenList doesn't put you in this category of disqualification. And so Leo signed the agreement with Zillow right away. And yeah, so that's kind of the big conversation that's out there right now. I just wanted to share. Yeah, Alan.
How does Zillow police whether or not a listing was private and is now public?
Yeah, so they've got algorithms that are scrubbing all the channels online. They're able to see if there's any type of address, online activity, et cetera. And then they, I don't know how they can look as far as like, because like coming soons are not the same as office exclusives, but like there's an audit trail of when something is signed and when it goes into MLS. And so they made it very clear that they can see all of it and they know exactly when someone's doing it. And so if someone takes a listing and it doesn't go into the MLS within 24 hours and they go against that ruling, they will be excluded from Zillow, which, whether you like it or not, whatever your opinion is around Zillow, Zillow is the most viewed portal for buyers on the planet. Not being on Zillow is like not having your listing on Zillow hurts, regardless of what you think about their practices. The other thing that Leo said is that if Zillow decides to play funny games and makes changes and tries to pull the rug out or do something silly, we already have a unilateral agreement that we're out instantly. He said, if there's any games, if there's any shenanigans that gets pulled by Zillow, we'll be the first to be out. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Any other questions, thoughts, any other chatter that you guys are hearing around it?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how they're going to handle situations where the sellers absolutely do not want to be on the MLS for a specific period of time or for any other reason.
Yeah, so there's going to be new disclosure paperwork that's coming out So Leo said that there are absolutely valid circumstances where discretion, privacy, and security are important, right? And he listed several of those examples. He said, but a $400,000 home in a subdivision just because blah, blah, blah. He's like, that's not it. That goes against clear cooperation and transparency. So the sellers need to know that you have your rights to do so, but if by choosing to do so, just also know that your property will not be on Zillow even when we do decide to go on the market. So if you're okay with that, and just know by going private exclusive, you could be reducing your total sales price by 11 to 17%. Are you okay with that? And as long as they're aware, then yes. The thing is that and Leo was really clear in some of the articles, and if you read it, there are companies that are illegally steering sellers into believing that this is a benefit, and they're not being fully transparent. And that somebody had to step up and draw a line in the sand. And Zillow was first, and then we came right along with them. So I was super, like, when I was on the call yesterday with Leo and the Alpha Group, and he explained it, all of the top agents and influencers in the company were absolutely unanimously in support of that move. And it really is what's best for the industry. Secrets don't sell houses is like what one of the phrases was out there. It's like floating around. There's a meme around it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, to be in the know, having the finger on the pulse of what's going on, and to be seen, right? Like what's going to come out. So I'm sure, and the company in question right now is Compass, that's doing this, and they're the one that's advertising it as a huge benefit, and they're using it to lure agents and consumers into what is supposed to be considered like this cool concierge niche portal. But really what it is it's just a private exclusive, so their agents can double end and sell more transactions just within Compass. And it's not for the benefit of the seller. It's for the benefit of Compass.
Yeah, and isn't that how things work over in Europe, where there's not an MLS? It's
correct.
Not
And commercial. And just like in commercial. Yeah. So he said, if we go down the path of what Compass is attempting to do, we're basically going to rewind the real estate industry in the United States by 60 years. Where in order to get the best listing, you got to go with the biggest company that has the most listings, because other companies aren't even showing listings that aren't part of, like, it just starts to go down this other path of like, well, if this is first, then what's next? Well, then we're not even going to show listings that aren't ours. We're not even, because you don't even know they exist. So, yeah, this is one of the first moves of just maintaining that transparency and cooperation.
I was gonna say, because like at my office, it's really like only designed, it's not supposed to be like your final destination of where you're, like, I guess it's kind of more like your Zen list. It's like it's not supposed to be the final destination of like where the listing ends up. It's like if somebody, like, I took a listing back in November and we still don't have it on the market yet. And it's like that's one that I could have stuck on there, because if she wanted to sell it, like, she, like, if somebody came along, she'd probably sell it, like if she got the right offer or something. But she's just kind of waiting until a certain point. Like, she's got some things she's doing in her life, and that's why we're waiting to put it online. But like at this point right now, like, we're going to hit the expiration date before we ever even go live with it. Cause I didn't know it was going to be that long, but it was one, like I said, if somebody came along and offered her a good price, she would. But yeah, as far as like, I honestly haven't really liked the fact of, I mean, it's great. Like if there's a match of somebody that already has a listing and you're, and something your client needs. But I mean, I actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I just had an agent from Compass was really pushing the fact of their office exclusives. And she's like, it's where all like the top agents are going and stuff, because I'm telling you, that's seriously what
I know. That's the thing, is they're using it as a tool to lure and attract. And what it is, it's steering, and it's costing sellers. It's costing sellers a lot of money.
Well, that's exactly what I said to her. I said, hey, I think it's great. Like, I just had one, and it was, you know, it was kind of a distressed property, but it's in an area where it's like $1.5 million plus homes. And this house was 560,000 because it needs like over $500,000 worth of work. But it actually was like a great fit for clients of mine. And my clients were able to get it, but it hadn't even gone on the market yet. And it was, you know, like an inner office thing. But in
Sure.
general, I'm like, if you don't put it out in front of people, you're definitely limiting the number of people that, you know, I mean, I'm like, you're limiting the amount of money. I'm like, the more buyers you can get in the house, the more likely are you to get a better offer.
It's just simple economics, and there's data to support it. Less eyeballs equals less offers, less competition equals less purchase price. Period. That's just what it is.
You would think that someone like Michael Ketchmark reads all this stuff and just starts licking his
Well,
chops.
that and the other thing is it was a preemptive strike to make sure that we're not included in the next the next massive lawsuit that's it's coming. It's coming. And Leo's been vocal about this for the last several years and has actually sat down on stage with Robert Revkin and had this conversation very candidly. In fact, we even suggested they sit on the stage and debate, and they won't accept it because Leo doesn't care. He is an agent first, here for the consumer and the agent. Period. Like it's really it's pretty incredible leadership. Any other questions, thoughts, ahas around this? Anyone else getting any kind of, so just be prepared. Like when your sellers or your clients are going to be talking or asking about it, just, you know, are you ready to be able to field that conversation and talk about why what we're doing is a benefit and why what somebody else might be pitching as this really cool club to be a part of could cost you a lot of money.
That's like, how are they selling that to the seller? Basically, like, oh, this is good. Let me just, our local KW office just like a month ago launched KW exclusives, and it's only our listings right here. And I'm like, man, why would you want to be in that group when you just have, it's just these listings to this tiny office? Why would you want to be in that instead of blast it out to as many people? Like, how do you sell that to somebody even?
It's all in the packaging.
It's crazy.
It's all in the packaging. So that's why
I think for our office, it's really, it is not, like I said, supposed to be a spot that you're going to stop. It's literally like supposed to be, if you're maybe your house isn't like all of the way ready to go on the market, like maybe you're getting some stuff done or whatever, and if somebody did come along and put in an offer on it, you would be okay like accepting the offer. It was not supposed to be where that is the only place that you're ever going to put your listing. Like that's how it's been, because I've been on it to some like classes and stuff on it, and so does that make sense? If they are advertising it like this is the only place you're going to put your listing, like that's stupid. Like I don't know why any seller would want to do that. And as far as like the buyers, the benefit for the buyers is you can like have an account with this and you can see any of the listings you can put in here. That's the benefit for them. But like I said, I've been to enough things on it. I think it was supposed to be more like your, like, what'd you say, Zen list? Zen list. Yeah. Which I don't know how they market that, but it's just, like I said, it's just in case you, I've had so many though, like off market things just because I found out about a house and connected somebody to it. It hasn't even necessarily been office exclusive. It's just a house I found out about.
Let me read this statement, this final statement here from Leo in one of the articles that he talked about. I think this kind of encapsulates the intention and the energy around this pretty well. Leo said, "We will not sit back and watch the most transparent, trusted, and efficient real estate ecosystem in the world be dismantled. We will lead, we will innovate, and above all, we will protect the public trust. And yes, we will compete if we have to, but I'd much rather collaborate with every broker, every MLS, and every agent who shares our commitment to doing what's right. The industry doesn't need more finger pointing. It needs more courage, more clarity, and more leadership." Signed, Leo.
That's excellent. Can you
That's,
share that with me?
yeah. Yeah. I'll drop, oh shoot, I can't drop it in the chat here. Maybe I can. You guys keep talking amongst yourself. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I saw a post in a Facebook group. He's got Lab Coat Agents is this giant. There's like 10,000 people, and Russ actually was in there. Someone was asking about, what people think about the Zillow. I'm trying to find the exact one, like the Zillow and EXP teaming
Yeah.
up against everyone is what they said. And I loved that people were trying to rile him up, but he was just real chill, like, hey, here's the data that says this is what's best for sellers, and kind of flipped it back. Like, why wouldn't you want to make sure everybody sees it? Why wouldn't you want to partner with the largest platform on the planet to
Yeah.
get all of your listings out there? And people are like, oh, those are just fancy words. And he's like, no, 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 here's actually the data, but go have a good day. And I mean, he handled it very, very well, but it's just, I think it also comes from historically, there's been a lot of distrust, I guess, with Zillow. For years we've heard like, oh, they're the big bad enemy, right? Zillow's terrible. They're going to take all your business. They're actually helping our business. Whatever you think about Zillow, they're helping us because they are the number one platform that buyers and sellers go to every single day to find houses. So why wouldn't we want to work together with them, and in the same time doing what's best for our clients?
Yeah, I posted the specific statement in the chat if you wanted to grab
Sweet.
that and save it. But I mean, it'll be an interesting next couple weeks to see how this shakes out and who's going to come on board and how it's going to get adjusted. I mean, look, and again, there are valid reasons to do it with transparency, with disclosures, with documentation. The sellers need to know that by doing so, in order to protect their privacy or protect whatever their needs are, it comes at a cost. And this is what the costs are. So as long as because Leo said in 2, 3, 4 years, you will be deposed in front of a camera talking about, did you disclose and let everyone know what the downsides of this are going to be? Or did you only talk about how cool and exclusive and fun this is and only the best agents are doing it? Because that's steering.
That's where people are going to get in so much trouble. And I
Correct.
don't think the average agent doesn't think about that. They're just listening to their leadership and they're like, oh, this is cool, something just special and private. But they're not thinking about that piece. Like, are you telling your clients the downside? Are you having that conversation? Because you're the one that's going to get sued. You're the one.
Look, it's the same thing for sellers that are accepting cash offers versus going on the market. Like for them, sometimes speed is more important than net. Convenience, not having to empty the house, leaving everything in there, not having to repair a single thing, and just walking away for them is often worth the $30,000-$40,000 they could have gotten with a little bit of effort or on the market, right? So there is a place for this, but
Yeah.
it's not at scale. It's 1 out of 100, or it's not even that. So
yeah, I don't think this will actually prevent 100% like in-house listings, because if we decide, let's say I get a listing and they decide they don't want to go to the MLS or coming soon listing, which this doesn't fall into, I can still let other EXP agents know. I can let any agent know really, but I can't publicly market it. And our MLS rules state that if you publicly market it, like put up on your website or on Facebook, then it has to go in the MLS.
then it has to go in
within
MLS
24 hours.
because of clear
And
cooperation.
that's what Zillow is actually saying. If you are publicly marketing a listing that is not in the MLS and it's not in there within 24 hours after publicly marketing it, they will ban it. They won't list it.
Yeah. So I wanted to open up the conversation so you're not taken by surprise this week or this weekend when people come in and talk about it, because it's out there. The buzz is building. Any other kind of thoughts or ahas around? I know we're kind of creeping up on like 3-4 minutes left. I'm not going to start a new topic at the moment.
I also I mean, this is just, I need to think through. This is literally just a thought that popped in my head. And so I need to like marinate on it for a little bit. But I mean, agents at some of these other companies, I feel like now's a good time for, I think we're going to see a lot of growth from company wide because we're trustworthy. We're putting the client first. We're protecting the agents. Yeah, I need to think through that thought a little bit more, but it's going to help us grow.
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. Anything else here before? I mean, we may just be kind of cutting it off
It's
here.
just another thing that's changed. Real estate's always ever changing, and I think it's probably a good thing in the long run. It's just something that's changing. We got to get used to that.
Yeah. Yeah. It from my position where I'm sitting, and again, this is it feels really good to feel like being on the right side of history on this one.
Yeah.
Right. Like I feel really confident and comfortable like in this spot. Right. And it'll be really interesting to see how it's spun or twisted or whatever, or seen as a negative. I'll be curious to see how plays out. So
I'm curious to see what changes. This is for EXP. What changes might come for express offers out of this too? There might be some. I know they have to opt into it, but that's publicly marketing. If you go outside of your agents or outside of the real estate realm, so I'm sure there's going to be some change that'll come along with that.
Well, there's definitely. They said that because this is all starting in May. I think Zillow said effective May 1. This will be happening. So there's a little bit of a runway for companies to kind of fall in or dig their heels in, and we'll see. So, yeah, just know there's more to come, and know that you guys are in great hands. And yeah.
It's interesting how back when all the NAR stuff was coming out, how many times did Leo kind of foreshadow that there was more coming, right? Like, hey, we're not done. We're stepping up. We're leading this charge. And I expect this, this, and this to come. And now here we are. And it's like, okay, we're prepared for more. He's been prepared for.
Oh gosh, I found it fascinating, and still find it fascinating that like there's so many people that were just slinging arrows at him and saying EXP, they're not paying buyers, and how dare you guys like remove all of this from the thing. And now it's just everyone's doing it that way now. It's just the way it's being done.
Yeah.
So he also said on the call, he goes, I'm making a very public and very loud statement about this, and I'm going to fight for us. And he says, I'm willing to take whatever comes our way from it. Like I'm willing to accept all the consequences, but we're on the right side of this. So he says, I wanted to give you guys a heads up before you saw it, so no one was blindsided. And here we go. Be ready. He said it's going to get loud. And I'm like, I'm here for it, man. Let's go. I'm a little scuffle. Let's get in there. Let's step it up a little bit. Anyway, that's just me. Sometimes a little spicy. Sometimes I can get a little spicy. Anyways, all right, guys, it's 9:30 in honor of your time. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all. Go continue to crush. We'll see you Monday, same time, same channel. Stay tuned for the new password coming up.
It'll come out later.